Hi everybody, I'm Leanne Jones. I live in Fairmont, West Virginia. I'm getting ready soon to begin my second field placement, then I'll be done. My first field placement was in an agency right across the street from where I work, called Family Services. They provide therapy services to Marion and Harrison counties, or anybody who's in the county that wants to come. It's not a requirement that you live here. Currently, I work at Monongahela Valley Association of Health Centers, which is an HQFC federally funded clinic, community clinic. We have a vision center, we have an urgent care. What else? That's about it. We have several doctors, nurse practitioners. We have the homeless outreach, which is a job I used to do, and I work a lot with families in that capacity. But now I'm back in the office as a case manager, social worker, whatever you want to call me, jack of all trades. Find your resources. You need help, call me. I do work with a lot of individuals, but with the family in mind a lot. A lot of times the families don't come in together to appointments, but sometimes they do. And I've got the whole family packed into, I'm in my office now, it's a little office, tiny office. But I do work with families. In the past, I was also a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA, and that involved working with the families of kids who've been removed and were in foster care due to abuse or neglect. And it was, talking with them and looking to see what was going on and making recommendations for the best interest of the child. So I work with families there. Okay, my family. Okay, I'm an only child. My mom raised me. My parents got divorced when I was really young. My great-grandmother lived with us, so she was always there when I got home from school and had a great snack, little apple dumplings and whatever. I mean, it was awesome. And she stayed with us until she passed away when I was in 5th grade. Then, after school, I went to my grandparents. They lived right up the road from us, so we were a very tight family. We had dinners all the time. When I got married, had 4 kids, and when my kids were little, my family had a restaurant, so my first husband was always at the restaurant in the evenings, and I was like, you can't take the kids there. So I would go to my grandparents' house, and we'd hang out pretty much every evening when they were little, and until they got into activities. And still, it was like, we went to my grandparents' house. It's like, you go to your grandparents' house. It's not every weekend, but every night. And we were, we were raised very, very close family. But my dad's side of the family, I never really felt like I belonged to that. I always felt like I was an outsider, and I don't know if it was me, whether it was me feeling that way or if I was correct and they felt like I didn't fit in. I don't know. I was a kid and, but nature takes over and I'm following in my dad's footsteps. He was he got his master's in social work, and earlier in his life, he was a social worker. He did, back in the 60s and 70s. I always said he was the VD czar in our area. And strangely enough, that's coming back. We've had a lot of cases here, but that's beside the point. Let's see, my family now, 4 kids. I was divorced, we got remarried. A lot of animosity between my first husband and myself, and my second husband. Over the years, we, didn't, want him around either. They just oddness. But finally, we're at the point, because I've said that finally we're having a grandson, so we've got to be able to get along because we're going to have weddings and funerals and parties, and we've just got to get along. And last summer we all went on vacation together, which was great for the kids, but still just a little weird. But yeah, it's always weird when your ex-husband just shows up and comes in the house for dinner. But we get along. Okay, what a role that I played in my family that might impact your work with clients. I had to construct a blended family. Not really knowing what I was doing with any theories. I wish I would have had all this knowledge back then, because I would have done a lot of things different, especially with communication, because I've noticed over the years that things have gotten way better when you know your communication style, and you know what to look for, and you're a better communicator. Because some of the problems we had were, I was laid back parent, didn't care if your room was dirty. If it was dirty, shut the door if we had company. But my second husband, stepdad, was the drill sergeant. Seriously, he was the drill sergeant in the Army. And he was pretty strict about neatness, which, I don't want to argue with my kids about whether they made their bed. I want to know how their day was. Did they do their homework? Did anybody pick on them at school? Did anybody approach them with drugs? I want to talk to them about that stuff, not have them mad at me because I grounded them for a year because their room wasn't clean. So that's kind of problems we had and had to work on. And my burning question, this is a biggie. I do psychiatric referrals for the clinic here. And I have a lot of kids that are referred out for evaluations for whether it be autism, ADHD, things, ODD, things like that, where I've met the kids and I don't see a problem with them that medicine's gonna increase it. Correct. I see a problem with the way the parents parent. And how do you get everybody on the same page that you should start with some parenting and see if that's the problem, instead of jumping straight to labeling them with a diagnosis that's going to follow them the rest of their life and may not be accurate. Plus, sometimes, how do you get the kids to quit saying, oh, I'm ADHD? Well, or I'm bipolar. I'm 7. You're not. But how do you... that's just the parenting thing. How do you get everybody on the same page? Okay, guys. Thanks, and we'll be seeing y'all later.